Friends and subscribers, here today in China, central bank must step in to prop up rural banks as there's a bank run in a rural bank here in China where hundreds of depositors rush the window and were not able to get their money. And this was all sparked by one fellow who wanted to withdraw all of his funds from the bank because he was not confident that the renminbi was stable. It's been losing a lot of value to the US dollar and other currencies as of late, going from 6.08 all the way down to 6.22 versus the US dollar in a short amount of time. So he requested 200,000 yuan or $32,200 US equivalent, his savings at the bank, and they did not have it. Okay, they did not have it. This tells you how fragile banks are. Not just, of course, in rural China, but around the world. Cash is trash. We know that. The banks don't have the money. They don't have the reserves. They don't have the paper, even, much to talk about, with the gold. They don't have the gold. They don't have the paper to back it up. And this is a huge concern. So something as insignificant as a paper note, which the Chinese central banks print up just like the West. They do quantitative easing and they print up as many as they need, backed by nothing, and you can see how fragile it is. Now, when I was in Chicago during the flash crash, 2008 financial collapse. Now, this story goes in back to a little bit more about me that I'll follow up on much later here on YouTube, but I witnessed bank runs in the city of Chicago, Washington Mutual, and several other banks, which eventually got swallowed up by Wachovia and I believe Wells Fargo and several others. But I witnessed bank runs, and these mini bank runs in America during a time where the dollar is king. It can happen, it will happen, and it's happening on a smaller scale around the world. So obviously, the gent who wanted to get his renminbi notes out should have been buying more gold and silver while he still has the chance and while it is still relatively cheap. After all, China is a huge gold and silver over-the-counter market. So let this be a lesson, You say that Chinese economy is strong and that the renminbi is going to be the new world reserve currency. Well, I'm not so sure about that. I don't know if they're going to be able to hold things together on a domestic level before they even consider being the medium of exchange around the world for things like energy and gold, silver, currency swaps, and so on. So I'll leave the links here about the rural bank run, and we'll be sure to see a lot more of these before this whole thing is over.